What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 4 of the Mind Gains podcast. My name is Vinny. Today I'm here with co-host.
With Jay. Welcome back. It was super exciting to see all the good feedback from last week's and every week's podcast.
Yeah.
So, ready to get some more value in, bro?
Yeah,
And
first couple weeks did really well numbers-wise. Last week we could have done a little better promoting. I feel like that was our best episode, but we're both super busy last week, bro. I'm exhausted. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna try to keep my energy up throughout this video. I'm not trying to complain. I'm blessed. I'm just exhausted. It's part of being an entrepreneur. So, How are you doing, bro?
I'm exhausted too, man. I feel like this first weekend of August was, bro, just kicked my ass, which is good. Like you said, it's part of the entrepreneurship, and I feel like it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes like you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, bro, like I'm stressed, I'm tired, but like I said, it's not really a complaint. It's more of an observation, and as long as you're able to keep pushing through that observation, you'll be fine. So overall, completely and utterly phenomenal, bro. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I could say the same, bro. I've hit phases of my entrepreneurial career where I've been very exhausted, close to giving up, and this is not that I'm close to giving up, but definitely one of the lower points I've had, like physically. Yeah. Missed the gym 2 days in a row this week. That never happens. Like, no matter what's going on, I always make time for the gym. So if you don't see my douchebag selfie on my Instagram story, then just know I'm going through it.
Every day.
But let's kind of open up the video with that. In previous episodes, we kind of touched on what it really takes to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
But let's dive a little deeper into that, about what the grind is really like, how we handle those low seasons, because they make the high seasons so much more worth it, When you're at kind of a phase like where we're at right now, just exhausted, you wake up, there's so much shit to get done, you don't even know where to start. Like, how do you handle that?
Me personally, there's a few ways that you could handle it, but I think I work best under pressure, and you know this about me, bro. Like, the more pressure I have, the better I work. But as long as I have everything in place, everything is organized, I can kind of tackle things one by one. I do try to get the biggest things out of the way early, because I feel like those require the biggest brain power. So just getting the biggest, toughest potatoes out of the way, and then after that we'll move on to the meager potatoes, the small potatoes. But when I'm overwhelmed with the amount of work that I have to get done, and sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to do this. I do it regardless. But there's always a reward system that comes with that. So for me, it's like, oh, okay, well, we're going to get this done, but, we're going to enjoy this day. For example, I'm a big fan of off-roading. So if I have a really hectic week, I'll be like, all right, well, we're going to get this week done. And then this date is going to be set apart for us to kind of pull back a little bit, refresh. And that kind of keeps me going. It's kind of like a motivation.
Yeah.
But even without that motivation, I feel like I still have the discipline to stay with it, to stick with it. Only because my neck is on the line for my business, bro. And I think for yours too.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you need to fulfill.
If we don't work, we don't eat.
Yeah, we don't exactly. We don't work, we don't eat, but it's also like your reputation, bro.
True.
Like if something goes wrong, or if you fail to do what you're supposed to do, other people suffer from that. And I think that the thought of other people suffering from my meager attempt would hurt more than me doing it, right? So I think that balance right there helps out a lot. But additional to that, it's just sticking to it, bro. That's the importance of staying disciplined. I think that applies to that specifically, right? Not just the gym, not just eating, but having a business. You have to stay disciplined, because there are days where you wake up and you're like, bro, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
I'm telling you, there's genuinely days where you'll wake up and just no gas left in the tank.
No, bro,
you just gotta find it and pull through. Yeah.
And here's something that I learned. I don't remember exactly where I learned this from, so don't quote me on this, but there's a piece of information that I learned where it's like, whenever you're going through a negative period in your life, in the future, or 5 years later, 2 years later, your brain never recalls that the same way that you felt it in the moment.
Yeah.
So anything that was like super bad or super painful in the moment was like super bad in that moment, but in the future it's like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And the reason your brain does this is because looking back, it only remembers the good stuff.
Yeah,
so
I've heard about that used in many scenarios.
Exactly. So
be applied to relationships, anything.
You look back at certain relationships or certain situations in your life where you're like, oh my God, like this sucks. But then you look back at it 2 or 3 years later, you're like, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, like you
You
only
know?
remember the good times.
You can always use that to your advantage, right?
Yeah.
So even moments where you're going through it, where it's like, oh my gosh, I have no more gas in the tank. Just think about it like this. In a year, looking back, you won't really think about it.
True.
You know, so it's like, meh, who cares?
Yeah.
You know? So
Just
how
look
about
at
you?
it.
I mean, that's how I cope with it. That's how I deal with it. But what do you do to kind of push through these seasons? Because I feel like right now, you personally are going through it a lot more often than me. Just because of that. That's just the journey we're on right now.
Yeah,
So
bro.
talk to me, bro. I mean, I kind of want to know.
I mean, I'm kind of figuring out how to deal with it personally.
Okay.
To be straightforward, this weekend, I'll run you briefly through what the weekend looks like.
Talk to me.
Friday we stock. We start prepping proteins. Not protein. Yeah, we start cutting the proteins, marinating the proteins, we do the carbs, all the stuff that's non-perishable gets handled Friday. Saturday, the whole entire day is cooking, prepping meals, and that's like from 7 a.m. to whenever we finish, which could be 9 p.m., it could be midnight. This week, I think it was around midnight. And yeah, Sunday, we distribute the meals, so pickup start around 7 a.m., so I got to wake up at like 5 or so to start bagging.
Yeah,
put that into context. We wrap it up at midnight, 1 a.m., wake up at 5 to start bagging. And even the night before, Friday, it's like getting everything ready for Saturday morning will be like another midnight to 1 a.m. Wake up at 5 a.m. or so to start on Saturday. So the Mondays we distribute to other cities. Sundays we do our hometown here, and then Mondays we have a few mobile pickup hubs. We have one in Barstow, one in Palmdale. So pretty much all of Mondays delegated to distributing orders as well. It doesn't sound as bad, like me saying it, as it actually is, because it's rough, bro. It's a lot of work. We're a small team of 4, and in specific, there's 2 of us that do everything. I'm not saying the other people don't contribute. Everyone contributes in a way, but my girlfriend and I, as the owners, we do the bagging, we work in the kitchen with the cooking, we do the marketing. So it's a lot of work, bro. Like on paper, this past week, I mapped out like everything into a Google Calendar of how I want my work week to look, and it's literally like 90 to 100 hours of work. It's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how am I coping with it? I'm not just ignoring it and keeping going. That's only going to work for so long, though. Like how you said, you have an outlet to go off-roading. I want to say I would like to implement something like that for myself, but being in a relationship, I have dogs and stuff like that too. So I feel like any moment of time I get that's not delegated to work, it's going to something that needs my attention. So
yeah,
it's a little tough, but
I feel it, bro. Yeah, that's good though. I think you'll figure it out. You always do.
yeah.
And yeah, bro. Like I'll kind of run you through my weekend.
Yeah. Well, let me add something real quick. I bought a Raptor in May, and I still haven't took it off-roading, and it's August. So,
dang.
Yeah.
May?
Yeah, it's been 3 months, bro.
No shot. May, June.
The only dirt it's touched is the empty lot at the end of my street.
Oh my God, bro. But yeah.
We gotta go.
We gotta change that. We'll change that today.
No.
Oh. Let me run you through my weekend, kind of the process that I go through too.
Yeah.
So this weekend in particular was extremely busy just because I took in 2 last-minute orders. Mm-hmm. And so that indicated that I was doing twice as much of the work, if not a little bit more, because, I'm capped at a certain limit of how many orders I can take just because of my team and what they can handle.
Yeah.
And so this weekend we had 6 different events, right? And so we took those 2 last-minute ones. They're always worth it as long as they're, worthy or willing to pay us what we're worth.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I would ever do something like that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so this weekend, one of my main person that helps me take everything couldn't go. So that meant that I had to do everything. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes.
Cakes.
Yes, exactly. So I was responsible for delivering all 5. And
all in different cities too.
All in different cities. Well, there was 2 in the same city.
Okay.
But there was the 3 other were totally separate. Having that drive, you have that, anything could happen. Yeah. You have to be extra careful. You don't want to crash into anybody. Yeah. It's a little difficult. It's a little hard. Mm-hmm. So nonetheless, the prepping for me kind of is the same. So, I prep Friday because everything is made to order. I don't make anything a week prior because everything's perishable. Mm. So everything is made to order. Literally Friday, we're working on that. I start Thursday night. So baking starts Thursday night. Friday morning, I get everything that I need for Saturday. That includes like the the preparations for decorations and stuff like that. And then Friday evening, kind of building everything together so that Saturday morning, we can actually fulfill the orders.
Yeah.
And so it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday type of thing. I don't get done until the last cake is delivered, which in this case, it was around 7:30 last Saturday. So, you know, from Thursday to Friday, I didn't really get too much sleep.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like I got a meager 30-minute nap, and then I just had to keep going. And so it is part of it, but I think that those are the important moments that kind of build character, but they also build your business.
True.
And it's not going to be like that all the time. I understand that. There's going to be a moment in time where you're going to be able to delegate more when you have more resources, more time, more personnel, more orders, more fulfillment, all these things that are going to be coming into the business in the long term, because you're building a brand regardless if you believe it or not.
Yeah.
As soon as people trust your brand, slowly but surely we're building up the branding, and all this work that's compounding is making sense now, right? And so it's going to come to the point where there's going to be so much work that we are able to actually hire more staff, delegate now, maybe take a step back and kind of view the business from the outside, work on the business instead of just working in and on the business, which is, I think, the ultimate goal. And it's difficult, especially when you're going through it. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. I wish it was. I really do.
For sure. I was going to add to me talking about the 16 to 18 hour workday on a Saturday. You might ask, oh, why don't you hire people and split the shift into 2 8-hour shifts instead of one 16-hour shift? We have a family business. It's kind of a very sacred space. So I'm kind of trying to get to that point where we're comfortable enough to maybe bring some people in, but we're going to be very selective with who those people are. So it's definitely something that I'm looking to do soon. But yeah, we're going to have to outsource eventually because I'm definitely hitting the breaking point to what I could handle workload-wise. And it took a lot to get me here, but I think your body will show you the signs when it's time. And
it's time, bro.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's important to delegate, even if it kind of seems like a loss at first, but you're regaining so much of your time.
Yeah, for
instead of having to work 16, now you're working 8 hours. And I find that important too. Like I recently just hired someone that is responsible for just delivering cakes, and saved me so much time, bro. Saved me so much time. I'd rather just fulfill the orders, have someone that is actually proficient in the skill because they actually know how to do everything that we do.
Yeah.
Have them deliver. If anything is to go wrong, they're able to fix it. And if they're not, then that needed fixing from the beginning, right? So expanding the team is necessary in order for growth, regardless of whatever profession you're in. So that's important.
Well, your business is family-based too, so let me ask you, when you do bring people in, or if you do in the future, what qualities are you going to be looking for?
I'm big on, I don't care what you charge me as long as you get the job done correctly, because you can hire anybody, right? You can pay any jackass $15, $17, $18, $20, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't guarantee that they're going to get the job done.
True.
And so for me, the type of qualities that I see is someone that is proficient in the skill that we already have, but also they're able to actually fulfill and do what they're supposed to do. Like if someone comes up to me and says, hey, I have X amount of years of experience in this industry, and I can do this for you, and I can also deliver, and this is going to be my pricing regardless of the size of the cake, or this is going to be how much I'm going to charge more if the cake is bigger. As long as they get it done, all I care about is fulfillment. Okay. Of course, the numbers need to make sense where you're making profit. You know, you don't want to just
throw all
get
your
a
earnings
cake,
away.
throw all your earnings away, and then you're not making anything. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But regardless of having people coming into our business, I just need people that are qualified. I would rather pay for talent than pay for hands, which is a big difference because you can pay for hands anywhere. You can't pay for talent anywhere. And go from there.
Yeah, I think that's a big worry for me is no one's going to care about your product and your
And they're
clients
not.
like you are.
No, they're not.
And I just think about, when there's 800 meals on the production table, every single meal is important to me because you might think, oh, this one meal is not perfect, whatever, move on. But put yourself in the shoes of a client that has that meal, you're like, what the hell, my meal has 3.8 ounces of chicken instead of 4, That's a big deal to me. One meal might not seem like a big deal to someone that's getting paid $20 an hour, but to me as the owner, it's a huge deal. So I think that's kind of the hesitation is just knowing that regardless of who we hire, and understandable because I've worked for Amazon and corporations too where I didn't give a shit, but no one's going to care about your product like you are. Maybe it's different because we're a small business, but that's just how I see
that's
it.
true. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, you see it everywhere. I mean, I was in the industry for a long time, and in terms of working for different businesses, over 6 years of working for different businesses, and I even saw that people don't really take care of things. They don't really care about fulfillment as long as they'll meagerly get it done.
Yeah.
And it's like, I got it done. Leave me the fuck alone.
Mm.
But, you know, like you said, you have to, if you hire the talent, bro, and what I mean by that is like if you hire the people that are just as passionate about something that you are, it's less likely that they won't do their job correctly. And especially if you're paying them a good salary.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
I'll give you a good example. For example, Sam, hopefully he watches this podcast. This is the 4th episode, so we'll see if he watches this one. Anyway, so Sam, he has a hiring process for photographers, and he pays them a really good wage, a really good salary. And he's noticed that when he hires talent or people that actually love the industry, actually love taking pictures, he gets a lot more out of that than just hiring someone that's looking into photography or that doesn't really have a passion for photography, but knows the skill. And so he's noticed that someone that is passionate about it and has the skill, that coupled together we're going to the same place. We have the same end goal. And so I think it's the same thing. If you find someone that's passionate and helping people, you're going to be able to build a team that is well-rounded, well-surrounded by people that are willing to help and are having the same goal in mind. I'll give you a perfect example. Alex Hormozy only hires top-tier talent. And I think his churn is like crazy, bro. Like he'll fire people quickly.
And if you breathe wrong, he'll fire you.
Yeah, but that in of itself has built his business to be almost $1 billion company.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen by accident. It happens by hiring talent and hiring people that are actually willing and happy with what they are doing to help other people. You have to. It's hard to find that.
Yeah.
But once you do, it's like don't ever let it go because that's gonna be the backbone of your business. Right, bro. So, as business owners, entrepreneurs, I think that it's very easy to make mistakes when you're starting out. And I'm someone that had made mistakes when I first started out my business. But in that first year, regardless if it was meal prep or, because I know you just started meal prep this year, but let's say like when you first started your business in terms of personal training, that first year, what are some mistakes that you personally made that you look back and you're like, man, I wish I would have done this differently, or I could have fixed this, or anybody that's starting into the fitness industry that's trying to be a personal trainer, what are some mistakes that you made that you would have fixed or would have done differently?
I'm going to throw some sauce out there. So this is some advice that I gave you when you were kind of looking to delegate your time. And I didn't really follow this advice when I first started my business, but look at your schedule and your life when you run a business from an hourly wage perspective. And I know as an entrepreneur, you can't think of yourself as an employee, but look at the schedule that you have laid out and how much you're making per hour from that schedule. The goal is to optimize that and maximize per hour. So when you were doing the specific sales role, could you break down the numbers that you were getting for me?
Yeah. Well, I won't go into too much detail, but basically the amount I was getting was similar to just doing a minimum wage job.
Yeah.
If not a little bit less.
And you were putting in a significant amount of effort,
I was putting in so many hours, right? Because I had so many roles in this position. I was responsible for so many things. And at the end, I was looking at the numbers broken down into hourly wage. And it was like, it just makes sense to work at a regular job at this point, do less work and make around the same amount and have some time left for me.
Yeah.
And so, when we saw those numbers, they did not make sense at all.
Yeah.
And that was, again, one of the deciding factors as to why I kind of took a step back, which I appreciate. And it's important to have these type of conversations.
Yeah.
I think that had I not and I stayed, who knows where I'd be now, bro? Who knows where I'd be now?
Yeah.
And I'm super grateful that I actually don't have that position anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you were able to look at it from that perspective, because when you close a sale and get the commission, I'm sure that chunk of cash looks nice, but you forget about how much actually went in to get that, and you have to weigh out whether it's worth it or not. Like when I first opened my personal training studio, I was undercharging. I was charging clients like 25 bucks a session, which is dirt cheap for personal training. But when you factor in that I'm the only person working in the training studio, you have to factor in maintenance that you don't get paid for because it's yours. You have to factor in cleaning. You have to factor in setting up. So looking at my day as a whole, I was making like 15 bucks an hour doing something that I went to school for. So it doesn't make sense. If you're doing a job that's certified, you should be making at least bare minimum 30, 40 bucks an hour in California. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, undercharging was one thing, but just not delegating my time properly in general was, I think, my biggest mistake. Working crazy hours. I would fill my calendar with like 10 to 12 clients. And then, like I said, the maintenance and everything of going into the studio, probably about a 15-hour day. And for almost nothing, like barely struggling to get by. Yeah. So I'd say that was my biggest mistake. Back in the first episode, I said I don't regret undercharging clients because it got me a lot of experience, built great connections, and we got people results, which is the most important thing. But again, biggest mistake is just not looking at my calendar from that perspective. Yeah. What about you?
I would say in my first year, my biggest mistake, I won't even say it was like, because I was undercharging as well, but I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about choosing the wrong clients. I felt like my first year, I was just taking on any client, and I felt the back end of that, where there are going to be some people that aren't going to be happy regardless if you give them the stars and the moon. You can give them a different world. You can give them the whole universe, and they're going to be upset that the Earth isn't in that universe. So it's like not choosing the right clients was definitely a big factor. But the reason I wasn't choosing the right clients was because I was also undercharging, right? Once you have a premium, you're able to charge a lot more. And usually when people pay a lot more for a service are usually the ones that complain less, in my experience.
No, that's true.
Something that I noticed as well is when I was working at a restaurant, and this is when I was working back in at Chili's, and that's perfectly fine. They didn't make me sign NDA or anything, so it's fine.
Okay.
But one of the conversations that I had with one of my coworkers there was, bro, there is zero barrier to entry in this restaurant. And what is a barrier to entry, you're asking? It's the minimum amount of money that you need to enter to a facility or to enter to a business.
Yeah.
The barrier for that, for my business, is anywhere from $600 to $700 minimum, right? I will not work with any client that has less than that. Exceptions don't disprove the rule, but that is just the bare minimum. At Chili's, you can spend $10 and get an entire meal. And if you can spend $10 on an entire meal, you're going to get $10 clients. And those are usually the ones that are complaining the most about their $10 meal. Their burger wasn't cooked right. Their burger's the wrong shape. They put onions in the burger that says sauteed onions in it. They put mushrooms on the mushroom Swiss burger. So the barrier to entry is super important, and I think that was one of my biggest mistakes because I was undercharging and getting those type of clients that aren't willing to pay for my services and thinking that they deserve more than what they're paying for.
Yeah.
And so that was my biggest mistake. After the first year when I changed that, where I started actually charging premium prices, I didn't have to come across that or deal with it as much. Of course, there are clients where they're just gonna, either be upset at something small, and usually you can fix that with the conversation, maybe give them some credit if need be, and move along with your day. But there are just some that are gonna just be a pain in the ass regardless.
That's true.
And that's why I think it's important to choose your clients wisely. And I think that's one of my biggest mistakes when I first started.
I think that's something that's just hard to see in general as first, because
A little bit.
The general population, like when you think of Karens, quote unquote, you think of like a rich white lady, but
it's not always the case, man.
No, what's the best way to put this? Like if I have $20 only in my wallet and I go get a Chipotle bowl that costs $20, if that bowl is not perfect, I'm gonna be upset because that was my last $20. But if I have $2,000 in my wallet and my Chipotle bowl is not great, then it's all right. Who gives a shit? I'll get another one later.
Who cares?
So
who cares? They missed the piece of chicken.
People that are trying to scrap and save every penny, nothing against them, but they're gonna complain more about the service if it's not. And your service should be up to everyone's standard. It should be perfect, but they're just going to find things to nitpick about,
Of course.
Which is understandable because, again, if I had $20 in my wallet, I would want my Chipotle bowl to be perfect. But, if you only want to work with clients that aren't going to give you a hard time, then it makes sense.
And you kind of want to look at it from this perspective, too. Because, like I said, back when I was working at a restaurant, sometimes there were things that were out of your control.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't cook your fucking meal.
Yeah, I'm just giving it to you.
Yeah, I'm just giving it to you, and I'll do my best to go get it fixed, but that's out of my control.
Yeah, and they take it out on you.
Exactly, they take it out on you like you're the one cooking back there. And funny thing, I'm a big indicator on de-escalating situations, regardless of the situation that I'm in. So I've had some experiences back even when I had my sales position, right, where there were clients that would be upset either at the timeline that we were delivering or maybe just the overall fulfillment of everything. And so the biggest thing you can do is de-escalate the situation as quickly as possible and try to come to a resolution. And the way that you can do that, I'm going to drop some sauce, is you want to make sure that you're on their side. You're on their team. It's you against the world. It's us against everybody else. It's us against that burger that wasn't cooked right.
Yeah.
How dare they not cook your burger right? Right? And so something that worked for me was when I was in the restaurant industry and someone would say, oh my gosh, they cooked my burger wrong. It's red. Oh my gosh, I hate it. I would look at them. I would stay silent. And I would say, how dare they not cook your burger right? Oh my gosh, this is unacceptable. And I would be as equally, if not more pissed than them.
Yeah.
And that would make them be like, oh my gosh, we've got to calm this guy down. But that would help. That would definitely help because now it's us, this burger that's in front of us versus whoever made that.
Yeah.
How dare you not make my burger right?
That's the logic you've always ran with. This guy's always told me, like, if someone gets crazy with you, you just got to out crazy them.
And it works, unfortunately. But it's true. It's true. I mean, if someone's yelling at you, and this is extreme, but you start yelling louder than them, they're going to be like, that guy's crazy.
Yeah,
even if they're the ones yelling
them.
to begin
Yeah.
with. And it does mess with their psyche a little bit, but it's part of the psychology and the psychology behind running a business. And so I've noticed that when it comes to de-escalation and trying to solve a problem, when you hop on their side, it's like, hey, we're gonna solve this together and figure out who's behind that mask, and we're gonna bury them. We're gonna beat them, right? Because they didn't make this burger right.
Yeah.
It always helps, and I've kind of carried that along for everything that I do now. It's a lot harder to do now because I'm the business owner, so it's like I'm responsible regardless.
Yeah.
But there always that de-escalate in certain situations, regardless of whatever situation you're in. That helps out a lot. But going back to like the barrier to entry thing, believe it or not, the less they spend, the more they complain. The more they spend, the less they complain, in my personal experience.
Yeah.
That could be totally flawed, but that's what I've noticed and that's what I've realized
Okay.
in my experience. Yeah.
Let's flow this into another question I have for you.
Yeah.
So one I want to ask, in your business, not at Chili's, but when you do make a mistake, how do you fix it? How do you keep the client's trust? Because there's ways to make a mistake and make the client like you even more after you fix the mistake, you know? But first I want to ask you, to what extent is the phrase, the customer's always right, true?
I don't believe in that. Well,
No.
let's go back to the first question. So
Yeah.
if I make a mistake in my business, I am fully accountable. If I messed up a flavor, I say, hey, I messed up a flavor. That's totally on me. But I do want to make it up to you. And because of that, I'm going to offer you this in exchange.
Yeah.
Whether it's a credit, whether it's a free cake. There was this, I'll give you a perfect example. There was this one time where there was a mix-up in two specific orders, right? And so one order was literally, they were polar opposites. One was like vanilla chocolate and the other one was like velvet strawberry. So two separate like flavors, right? But they had a very similar design. And this was on me. This was back when I wasn't labeling and really paying attention. And so they had a very similar design. And so the base was the same. The only thing that was changing was the floral accents and the decoration, which at that time we would decorate on site.
Yeah.
And so what ended up happening is we had a mix-up. So one cake went over here and the other cake went over there. And so, of course, I didn't really pay attention to it because it's not like I'm cutting the cake before I leave. This is something that was brought to my attention the day after. It was like, hey, we cut the cake and all of the flavors were incorrect, right? And so the first one was like, okay, maybe it's a mistake. Maybe we did something wrong in the order over here. But when you had two clients saying the same thing, it's like, oh God, okay, now how are we going to fix this?
Yeah.
And so number one is accountability. And this is something that you want to do, not just in mistakes that you make, but just in life in general. If you ever have a problem that comes across, I always think it's best to fix it as soon as possible.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
if you have a disagreement, you try to fix it as soon as possible. Why? Because that delay between you and the problem gets bigger over time.
Yeah.
So if you let's say you had an argument with someone that you really love, let's say a family member, whatever. If you wait a whole week to fix that argument, the amount of bubble that's going to be created of problems and ideas and thoughts and resentments that are going to happen in their mind is going to be a lot bigger, as if there was a problem today and in the afternoon I'm trying to fix it already. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because now you don't have room for these questions. And it's the same thing with clients, right? So number one thing I did was, of course, take accountability. Hey, I totally messed up. That's totally on me. I messed up 2 orders. My bad. I really apologize. Secondly, after you take accountability, it's what are you going to do in order to fix this? Yeah. So for me, specifically for my industry, it's good to have some type of credit for your clients, regardless of that. So look, this is exactly what I'm going to do for you. Since I totally messed up, I'm going to give you, I'll just give it for the sake of an example, $150 of credit that you can use for anything that you like. And then that's you. If you have a birthday, if you have anything that you need, you can apply this credit to. And that's exactly what would happen. So I gave both of these clients credit. I told them that I'm totally sorry that I mixed up their orders. And then thirdly, I gave them something for free. You don't have to do that. That's just something that I wanted to do. Yeah. And so a lot of the business is doing cake tastings and actually going to their house. So everything is already on file in terms of addresses. And so what I did is I made a cake for each of these clients of the flavor that they actually wanted. And then I personally went out to their house and delivered it. Okay. And I said, hey, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Again, I just want to really apologize. I actually have a surprise for you guys. I made this cake for you with the actual flavor that you guys wanted for you guys. And believe it or not, bro, those are the clients that came back.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like, it might seem like you're doing too much. It might seem like, you're kind of pushing it. But, like I said, you are the face of your business and your reputation is always going to be on the line. Yeah. And if you aren't willing to do whatever it takes to make the client happy when you've made a personal mistake, you're never going to have clients in the long run. And so these same clients were the same ones that brought me a quinceañera, they brought me a wedding, they brought me their tia, they brought me their long distance cousin that had a wedding in LA. Like, these are the clients that are so happy with what you do for them that they will recommend you to other people and say, no, this person does an excellent job and they will take care of you. I trust them. Yeah. Right. And so it's repairing that trust from the beginning. And then once you have that trust again, now you're able to get more trust out of others that they're going to recommend you to. Now, sorry for the extensive explanation, perfect. But that's literally how I see it. So, yeah. I'll ask you the same though. What do you fix mistakes? Like if you made a mistake in, I don't know, a meal prep order, or maybe you forgot a time slot where you were supposed to work out with someone. Okay. How do you fix it? How do you build that rapport again? How does that work?
Well, like I said before, I think if you handled it right, even if you make a mistake, you could leave the customer with the feeling that they trust you and like you even more after the mistake than they did before. And by doing that, it's just by showing them that you're a stand-up person that's honest, that isn't going to argue with them, even if you may truly deep down inside feel like you're right. Just giving the customer what they deserve, going above and beyond for them.
The best experience.
For example, I've missed time slots in personal training. It's rare that it happens, but sometimes it does happen. In any business, mistakes are bound to happen. No 100%. Business is 100% perfect. There's been meal prep orders that have gotten mixed up or something was missing. I think if you could offer the client enough value after the mistake to make up for the inconvenience, that's key. Even if you have to go above and beyond yourself, like you said, you personally delivered those cakes to those clients that had their order messed up. I think that built a lot more rapport with them than even if the order had went perfectly, because they're thinking, oh, this guy took the time out of his day to come do something for us that he didn't have to do. Yeah. So I'd say the same. For the missed time slots, it would be, of course, reschedule the time slot, but give them credit and a few free sessions on top of that because it was my mistake, Yeah. If the order gets mixed up, we'll give them some options, whatever's most convenient for them. Either remake their meal, give them more credit towards their next meal, then don't just replace that one meal. Give them more credit so they could get free meals because they were inconvenienced at the end of the day. So, exactly. Yeah, I just think going above and beyond and honesty is
it's true.
It's at the end of the day. Yeah.
And I'm glad you talk about honesty because that ties smoothly into the customer is always right. Yeah. There are moments where that a client isn't being 100% honest with you, right? Like, For example, if you have one order that day
Mm-hmm.
and you know that you made it vanilla and chocolate,
Mm-hmm.
and the client says you did not make my order vanilla and chocolate,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lack of honesty, and there's room for, well, does this person have the best interest, or is he just looking for a refund or trying to get some money out of me?
Yeah.
Which is where I would tie in the customer is not always right.
Okay.
And so when I've made a personal mistake, I've personally have something that happened that I made a mistake in, and they have proof of this. It's very hard to deny,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when you have a client that says, "Oh, you made a mistake," and you ask them for, "Hey, well, can you show me some pictures of exactly what you're talking about, or
Yeah.
can you show me exactly what we were talking about here?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a picture of the, I don't know, whatever the case is,"
Yeah.
and they're unable to provide you with that. Now they're trying to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
And so there's a moment where you're like, maybe the customer isn't always right.
Yeah.
I think the customer is right when you have inconvenienced them, which you laid it out perfectly.
Yeah.
When it's an inconvenience for them to use your service or product, it is now they're right.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're trying to inconvenience and take advantage of you, the customer is not always right.
Yeah.
Right? I'll give you a perfect example. There was back exactly when I was working at the Italian joint, where food would come out, and if it wasn't like near damn perfect, they would try to send it back.
Yeah.
And I had a partner one time where they had one specific person that sent back 3 steaks. 3 steaks. At that point, eat your fucking meal. Shut up.
Yeah.
Eat your meal. What are you doing? Right? And so the manager came out and said, "Hey, we have remade your meal 3 different times. I'm not going to charge you for the meals, but I'm not going to remake it for you." Okay,
That's
so
fair. That's a fair
yeah.
boundary to set.
So if you'd like to, we can bring you out something else, charge you for it, or we kind of just leave it as is. Sorry we couldn't meet your standards, but we're not going to recook 3 other steaks for you to say that you don't like them. It's just not going to happen, right? Because now you're cutting into profits. As a business owner, you're going to look at it and be like, "Oh my gosh, that's probably not the smartest move to make steak 6 times and still have someone complain about it."
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if we would have made that steak 5, 7 times more, he still would have been unhappy with the end results. And so there are certain situations where the customer isn't always right.
And if you see those traits in a customer, it's probably not someone you want coming back around to your business anyway. So
Absolutely, yeah.
some people you should know when to just cut your losses with,
Absolutely. And believe it or not, as a business owner, you and me both know that this is not very common, but it does happen. It does happen where you're like, you know what, you have to set your foot down and say, you know what, pleasure working with you, even if it wasn't. You don't sell them that, but you say, "Hey, pleasure working with you, but we're going to be heading a different direction.
Yeah.
We appreciate your service. We appreciate your time." That's it.
Yeah.
Cut your losses. That's totally fine, because if you don't, in the long run, you're going to lose a lot more.
Yeah.
And that's not where you want to be. So I think that's kind of where I'm at. Like, to make sure that is separate. The customer isn't right when they're trying to inconvenience you. The customer is right when you have inconvenienced them.
Yeah.
That's how I would separate.
No, that's fair. I'll kind of add on to that. I agree. Like, when you made a mistake, the customer's always right. You have to go above and beyond to make up for what you did.
Yeah.
Where I draw the line with the customer is always right is when it cuts into personal boundaries.
That too.
Yeah, going back to personal training and even into meal prep now, something that happens in businesses all the time is people will miss their pickup slot, this and that, which I make sure we have a system that always allows for a future pickup slot, if a pickup slot is mixed. But where I draw the line is cutting into personal hours that I have set aside for me. Like, I'm not going to do that for someone that overslept,
Yeah.
And some people will get upset about that, believe it or not. It's like, well, I paid for my meals. Like, I got to come pick them up. But your time slots don't work for me. It's like, okay, you picked the time slot. You missed it. So this is what I have. I'm sorry you paid for your meals. But, if I order a Chipotle and... Am I craving Chipotle today or what? Because I've used Chipotle as an example.
We're going to have to go eat Chipotle after this.
All right. But yeah, if Chipotle closes at 11, it doesn't matter if I ordered my meals. If I ordered my meal at 10 p.m., if I don't make it by 11, they're not going to give me my food or a refund. So you just have to draw the boundary in some cases. But then again, that's if it was the customer's fault. If it was your fault, it's 100% your responsibility. Even if it was neutral. Like, if it's a situation where the customer might not be right, but I could have done something better here too, then you should still
You're
go above
responsible.
and beyond
Yeah.
to
100%.
make things right. But
100%. Yeah.
yeah, personal boundaries are where I draw the line.
Personal
for sure.
boundaries, yeah. And that's funny that you mentioned that too. I'll give you an example. There was someone that came in and ordered a meal 15 minutes before the restaurant closed, which by law we are required to make.
Yeah.
No problem. So we make the meal. It's done in about 15 minutes, so it's around closing time. This person had stepped out. Okay, so we're assuming, oh, maybe they're in their car. They try to come back at 11:30. Right, this is 30 minutes after the restaurant is closed to try to pick up their food.
Yeah.
And the manager came out and said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm sorry, but one, the food's not even good anymore. You know, it's been sitting under the heat for almost 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Two, we're already closed. If I let you into the restaurant, I could lose my job.
Yeah.
And so he made them come back the next day to get some type of credit, I think. But
that's fair.
Yeah, but
that's fair. I could have easily just told him you missed your
yeah,
slot. Like,
no. But he like, yeah, just come back tomorrow. We'll give you credit. But right now I can't. There's nothing I can do for you. Sorry.
Okay.
You missed your time. Like we told you to be here, please, at 11. It's 11:30 now. We're not gonna do that. So
I think that's a great way to handle it, though.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely. Personal boundaries, though.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, there's been exceptions. Like there's been clients that have missed their pickup slot, and you know anyone could lie, but if they give a reason that seems legitimate to me, and I could squeeze them in at a time that would work for me, I'll do it.
Yeah, and consistency will tell you everything.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, if it becomes a constant pattern with the person, you have to set a boundary eventually.
Exactly. Like if you have someone that's consistently there on time.
Yeah.
They're there 10 a.m. sharp. Boom, boom, boom. Every single time they pick up.
Yeah.
And for some reason they miss something and they call you, hey, I had a terrible emergency.
Yeah.
Is there any way I can come some other time? You were going to be like, this person has been consistent for the last 3 weeks. Why would I say no to this person? I know this person's a good client. They're going to come on time. They had an emergency.
Yeah.
Let me figure it out for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So, but again, exceptions don't disprove the rule.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's super important in anything. Exceptions don't disprove the rule. And so when you kind of live by that, you're able to distinguish when it's your fault, when it's not your fault. And when it's not your fault and people are taking advantage of you, you kind of need to steer away from that. But when it's your fault, you need to be accountable and try to steer them back into your trust.
Absolutely. So, and in a business that provides a service that I'm passionate about, which is helping people, whether it's training or meal prep, it's kind of easy to forget about yourself and your own needs and your personal boundaries because I have a whole business built around helping people. So you need to not forget about yourself. You know, your own personal time away from the business is important
100%.
too, and you can't let people intrude on that. And you just have to protect your time. You can't lose yourself in the process of helping others.
Yeah, and it's important. And it's funny because I literally made a whole video about this, talking about how it's important to fill your cup before you try to fill anybody else's.
Yeah.
Because if you spend your time filling everybody else's cup, at the end of the day, you're not going to have anything in yours, and you're not going to be able to help anybody. So protecting your time is super important. As a business owner, I think that protecting the time that you have for yourself is even more important because you don't have too much of it.
For sure.
And so, you know, when you do have that slight time of like, you know what, this is for me, you got to protect it at all costs. You know, try to keep that on your end. Try to keep that sealed on your end as much as possible.
Yeah. And if you're not recovered and in a good headspace mentally, you're not going to provide the best service to your abilities. Yeah. You're more prone to mistakes.
100%.
So yeah, it's very important. And I'm a hypocrite because I'm not doing it right now, but it's very important.
Part of the business. Part of the business. Yeah. Yeah. Exceptions don't disprove the rule.
Going off script. Best ghost flavor. Josh, why do you not like cold drinks? This guy despises cold drinks. We're going to lighten up the topic here a little bit. Tell me why.
Okay. You know what?
If you hand this guy an ice cold drink straight out the fridge, like you literally waited an hour to take a sip of your ghost, bro. Why?
Because it's cold and I can't, like, think about it like this. And I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say you had a scorching hot tea. Are you going to chug it?
No.
Why?
It's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. It's hot. You can't drink it. You can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
You have to take little sips, burn yourself. It's not fun.
Okay.
And I think it's the same thing with cold drinks, right? When they're cold, you drink it, everything, your esophagus gets cold, your stomach gets cold, and it's like you can't enjoy that drink, you know? And so the reason I like to have room temperature drinks is because now I can chug them and I can drink them at my speed. I feel like I have to wait for me to be able to drink it. You know, it's like, oh my God, you're cold? Okay, well, let me freaking wait an hour so I can take a sip and still be freaking absolutely cold trying to drink this drink, bro. And so I don't think it's enjoyable. I don't find it. It's like the same thing as trying to drink a super hot drink. I think it's the same thing as trying to drink a super cold drink. I just don't enjoy it.
So you just slam your energy drinks. You don't like.
Yeah.
I sip mine throughout a span of a couple hours. You just pound them.
I pound, and he knows. Like, he's seen me. Like literally, if there's there's moments where I've had like pre-workout energy drinks, and if they're room temperature or not cold, I'll slam them. That's the whole point. You're supposed, bro. If I can get
for a pre-workout.
if I can get the energy now, why would I not? You know, even with 200 milligrams of caffeine, like you're spreading them out. Like, oh, I'm getting 50 milligrams here, 25 here, 10
Not
here.
as effective.
Not as effective. So if you're literally, boom, crack it open, drink it all, now you're getting the full effect of those 200 milligrams of caffeine. And if you're not going to take full effect of the drink, then I don't. Why you drink it in the first place?
Fair.
That's just my thought. Yeah.
I just like how the drink tastes. But
I mean, that too. Yeah. If you like it so much, just get another one. It's fine.
So we just went into detail about mistakes we made when we first started our business. Now that our business is more successful, have the people around you or people in general kind of changed the way that they look at you in a good way and a bad way? How would you describe that? How have closer relationships to you changed?
Yeah, so I think people that are closest to me always want to have the best intent for me, always have the best intention for me.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen too much differential from them. But that's my choice. I have decided to keep specific people around me because I know that those are going to be the people that aren't going to feel some type of way if I grow.
Yeah.
But in general, I would say that people do look at you differently. When you walk into a building and you say, "Hi, I'm here to deliver the biggest cake they've ever seen in their life."
Yeah.
And they're like, "You're the one doing it. You're the owner." It's like, do I trust this guy? Do I not trust this guy? Is he capable of doing it? You know? And they pay a lot more attention to the things that you do because they want to make sure that you, quote unquote, do it right. But also they want to make sure that you actually able to do it. Yeah. Whether it's them not believing in you, not believing in the process, or whatever it is.
Well, let me add this to the question. And not that that's not answering the question, but it kind of goes back to the Alex Hormozi example of when he used to sleep on the gym floor. But then once he started spending less and less time in the gym, the clients kind of looked at him like, oh, here's the money guy. That's too good for us now. So when you first start a business, your client, and this might not apply to your business because you kind of have like a lot of one and done clients, right?
One-shot clients,
so,
yeah.
But just people around you in general, like, do people kind of look at you like, oh, you're the money guy, you're kind of arrogant as you start to grow
100%.
Compared to, you know, people root for you when you're just a broke teenager starting off, you
100%.
know?
And here's the thing. I've laid this advice for you and for anybody that I've talked to is people want to see you doing good. They don't want to see you doing better.
True. Better than them.
Better than them.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you're better than them, it kind of, you know, touches on their own insecurities of like, oh my gosh, I could have done more with my life, or I could have done more with this, right? And so, go Vinny when you're first starting and you're a broke teenager. But now that you're making more money than me, you're the money guy now. Oh, you get to go on trips every weekend, right? And it's like, I don't pay too much attention to it, bro. I've noticed it. I kind of just brush it off. I have a really condensed circle. And outside of that, I don't give an absolute fuck, bro. Like, I don't care. Like, if someone comes to me and they're like, wow, Josh, you've changed. Yeah, definitely. You have a lot of money now. I'd be like, fuck you. Fuck out of here. Who the fuck are you? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
If it were someone that was once close to you or was a family member, how would you take that, even though you said it hasn't necessarily happened?
If it happened and it was someone in my close vicinity, let's say, for example, I mean, this would never happen. But let's say
Sam, what if you started hating on Josh?
Yeah, if Sam randomly said, oh, bro, you're making more money now. Oh, my gosh, yeah, you've definitely changed. I would try to understand why they're saying that.
Yeah.
And I would have a genuine conversation with them, right? Because this is someone that I care about.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Sam, why do you think that? Oh, well, it's because you have more money now, and it seems like you're spending more time doing other things than the things that you would used to do. Oh, okay. And how does that make you feel? Right? And I would take them through an entire therapy session to actually understand why they're thinking that way.
Yeah.
Because I care about this person and what this person thinks, not more than me. Because there's no one's opinion that I value more than my own. Not yours, sorry. Not Sam's, not my mom's, not my parents, not anybody in my vicinity. There's no opinion that I value more than my own.
Yeah.
And so when you have that in your mind, there's no opinion that can come and override that.
Yeah,
And that's
for
a
sure.
system, right? Like in your brain, you have to make sure that your opinions are what leads you to doing the things that you do.
Yeah.
It also kind of ties into intuition. Like it's your intuition that's going to lead you to making a choice, whether it's yes or no. You can't always depend on other people's opinions.
Yeah.
But if it was someone that was super close to my vicinity, I would genuinely try to understand why they think that way. And if it's something that I actually did, like if I analyze it, it's like, they're not wrong. Maybe I am doing something.
Yeah.
Because those are the type of people that I keep around, people that are honest, then I would change it.
Yeah.
But if it's something that's just random and it's something that comes from their own insecurities or something that they haven't personally fixed themselves, I would help them see that. Yeah. But that's only because I care about them. If I don't care about them, then I don't care. If the mailman came and said, "Oh my gosh, another car," I'd be like, "Same mail truck? Like what do you want? Like what do you want me to do? Like what do you want me to say? Like I don't care. Like fuck off. Like I don't care."
Okay.
Yeah.
But
So
like on a broader perspective, I know you said you don't care, but have you experienced it from people that might not be in your circle?
yeah, that's why they're not in my circle.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, in what ways have you experienced it? Like, what have people said to you?
Oh yeah, when you set boundaries, right? It's like, oh, hey, bro, let's go do this. Let's go hang out. Sorry, bro, I can't. I have to do this instead. Bro, you've changed, bro. There was a time and place where you would just come out with us.
When you were broke?
Yeah, when I had nothing else better to do. But
Yeah.
now I got something to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't hang out with you. And I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
And guess what? I never hang out with them again, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm okay with losing people that aren't willing to grow with me. I don't care. Yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
Good way to look at it.
they're not in my circle for a reason. So
Yeah.
What about you though? Talk to me.
Yeah. Well, I think anyone that's growing, especially financially, because money is something that makes people very insecure,
Yeah.
is going to experience this, and I think I carry myself in a very humble way. Like, I don't consider myself arrogant at all.
Right.
So, but, I still have had those cases of people whose opinions I do care about, actually, questioning my morals, my ethics, etc.
Well, if you don't mind me expanding on the question as well, I know that recently you made a video titled "Why I Changed," and you mentioned how there were some people that kind of said, "Oh, you kind of want to flaunt your money now, or you kind of want to do this and that." If you're comfortable with that, I want to hear that. What or who or what happened here that, well, one, made you do that video, but two, had you address it in a public way too?
Okay. Yeah, well, it was just a couple of comments. Not like public comments you could see on the page, but like replies to story or whatever, like, "Oh, this isn't like you, this and that." So, I mean, for context, I switched up my Instagram content. I used to only post fitness content, and now I'm posting stuff like this where we talk about entrepreneurship.
Lifestyle.
Yeah, and the main point is that I'm still a fitness coach, but the point is to build a strong body, you need a strong mind, and it's all interconnected. So, I just want to help people develop a stronger mindset overall, and I think that's kind of where I lacked as a trainer was, I would put people through a workout, but I wouldn't push them to change who they are as a person, So that's kind of something I want to get into now, and I just think entrepreneurship ties into it because there's no one more disciplined than a successful entrepreneur. So I think if a regular person that works a 9 to 5, even if they have no interest in entrepreneurship, if they want to get in shape, and then they see what I go through on a day-to-day basis as an entrepreneur, they'll be like, "Oh, I have time. Like, if this guy has time, I definitely have time." Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the point's not to say, "Oh, like I made this much money in this month," which is something I would never say on the internet in general. But I will say things like, "Oh, now I'm in San Francisco. I can take this trip because of the hours that I put in here," and give an explanation, not just say I'm in San Francisco just because I feel like it. But yeah, the point is just to show anyone that they can do it, bro. Like, look at where we came from, and we're making it happen. Like, we're both college dropouts. Less than 5 years ago, we had nothing to our name, and not saying we're balling by any means now, but we're not working 9 to 5s. We're making a full-time income just off of doing what we love. So anyone could do it. And this ties into a quote. I don't know who this quote's from, but they said, "No one that's above you, more successful than you, is gonna hate on you." It's very rare that you'll see that. It's always from people below you that are trying to drag you down with them, that are trying to shoot you down. They'll say, "Oh, your head's getting too big," or you're getting too arrogant, but in reality, it's just their insecurity talking. I mean, there are people that are very arrogant, but still, like, when you see someone flaunting money on Instagram, do you feel a way about it? I really don't. Like,
I don't care.
if I was
Yeah, I don't
insecure
care.
about my own life, I probably would. But even if someone literally is being arrogant, I don't give a shit. Why am I worried about that guy?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a public nuisance,
Yeah.
then
Yeah, I know exactly what you're
you know
talking
exactly what I'm
about.
talking about. Like now it's like, bro, come
Yeah.
on, like have some respect for the
But
people
even
around
then,
you.
like, if there's a guy at the gym being obnoxious, like shirtless, taking pictures in the mirror, it doesn't bother me, but I would get annoyed because I would know that there's people in the gym that might not be in the best shape that don't want to see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not only that, it's just common courtesy.
It is, yeah,
It's
it
common
is.
courtesy. Like you don't take off your shirt in the middle of the gym
Yeah,
and start
for
fucking
sure.
flexing. Like
Yeah.
you don't do that. It's just common courtesy. It's common courtesy. Things that you don't do. Gym etiquette,
Yeah.
right? You don't leave fucking 13 plates loaded.
Yeah.
That's just not gym etiquette, right? And it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, you kind of briefly touched on that answer, but
Yeah, I mean, point of the story is I just want to use my own testimony to show people that it's possible.
cool.
Yeah.
That's fire.
I mean, you could tie that into fitness too, like just starting with nothing and showing that if you put in the work, results will come.
Yeah, bro. I mean, someone like yourself, bro. I mean, you made crazy progress over the years. Because I remember back in high school, this guy was a freaking stick, cinnamon stick from Apple Jacks. But this guy had no muscle.
Yeah.
But now I feel like, bro, you're freaking built
Yeah,
and
I mean, I
everything.
have the pump cover on right now.
Yeah,
but-
even then, bro, this guy looks crazy. But talk a little bit about that, the discipline or like the training aspect of taking care of your body, because I feel like we haven't really touched too much upon that.
Yeah. Well, I think being fit ties into everything because you're just going to have more confidence overall. I mean, when I was not in the best physical condition, like I said, I've always been an introvert, but when I was not in great shape, I had no confidence at all to talk to people, just to put myself out there in general. And, the saying is true, when you when you look good, you feel good.
Right.
So, I think I'm a living testimony of that. I'm not saying like out of shape people can't be successful because there's, but still, I think confidence is key, whether you're in shape or out of shape. And if you're in shape, it's a lot easier to be confident.
Not only that, something that I learned even in the sales industry was when you have someone that's out of shape trying to sell you something and someone that's actually in shape trying to sell you something, I think you build rapport a lot faster if you're in shape.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, well, I can trust this guy because look at him, look at his body. Like he takes care of himself. Like he's in shape, extremely amazing shape.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to build rapport with people that way instead of like having someone that's, an absolute slob trying to sell you something that's like, well, you're telling me to buy this product so I can better myself, but you look at you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I trust you. So no, fitness is super important. Like you said, it ties into everything. If you have a healthy body, you have a healthy mind. And you have a healthy mind, you have a healthy life.
Yeah.
And so that's another reason why I decided to make a huge change in my life, bro, because this guy didn't tell me anything, and I'm very upset at this. That's a joke, by the way. But 1 year ago exactly, I was at 275 pounds, which is crazy. And I'm sitting at 205 pounds right now, which is a 70-pound difference. I feel better. I work better. I have longer hours that I can work now. Like overall, my life has just overall gotten better. And even then, I've even received some type of negativity for that. It's like, oh my gosh, you're making you're making progress. I won't mention any names here, but I had someone tell me that this was a significant other that, of course, I don't really talk to anymore. But they said if I were ever to get a six-pack, they wouldn't want to be with me anymore. And I was like, why would you not want me in my best physical condition?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's
And
crazy.
to me, that was like a backhand. It was like, that's crazy. So
Yeah, but I think that's a reflection of that person's own insecurity.
100%.
Because if that person knows they would never have a six-pack, that's the only explanation that I could think of to why someone would say that.
100%. And looking back at it now in retrospective, it's kind of like that. It's like, okay, well, it's kind of more reflecting an insecurity of yourself, which is perfectly fine. Yeah. And goes to show. Yeah. But fitness, super important.
Yeah. What the people you surround yourself with, I know you hold them to the standard of being in shape as well. How important do you think it is to surround yourself with people that are in peak physical condition also?
Well, I have two different trajectories here because I've met people that are in excellent condition, and I'm talking about like their body is top tier, bro, but they're broke. They're broke and they have no money.
Yeah.
You can add something if you like.
Yeah, let's throw this in there because we've discussed this
Yeah.
one-on-one personally. It's hard to find people that has all three of these aspects, and I don't think I'm 100% great at all three yet either.
Likewise.
But physical, which is being in good shape, financial, having your career and stuff together, and spiritual,
This could be mental.
being
This
in
could be
tune.
religion,
Yeah, mental, spiritual. You could tie anything into that third category. Mental health, we'll say, because I know not everyone that's watching this might be religious, but it's very hard to find someone that's solid in all three. You see a lot of people that put hours and hours into the gym but are lacking in the other two. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm glad you touched upon that, right? So the people that are around me, of course, I hold up to a standard of like, hey, you need to take care of your body some type of way.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've met people that, bro, physical condition is top tier, 10 out of 10 physical condition, bro.
Yeah.
But no money, and they lack emotional stability.
Yeah.
So it's like,
sure.
Sure, you have the peak physical condition, but you're lacking in these other two areas, and you have zero balance there. It's like you've put all your eggs in this basket, and it's like, you look great, bro, but you're broke, and you have absolutely zero control over your emotions.
Yeah, I was going to say, I noticed with a lot of gym goers that are in good physical condition, they lack the third a lot, especially if you have one and two, physical and financial. A lot of them, this is kind of contradicting what we said earlier, but their heads get so big that, they forget how to be humble. They forget how to...
Some of them, I wouldn't say all of them.
Yeah, some of them for sure.
I've met some people that are extremely humble.
Yeah.
They are, like, for example, there's this one guy we've met at the gym. I won't drop his name, but we know him as Trend Man. He will never know. But great physical condition, and he looks. It seems like he makes really good money.
Yeah.
Based on what he has and the things that he has under his name. I'm not too sure about the third one, the third category. I really haven't dived too deep into seeing that.
Yeah.
But
it seems like a well-tempered guy.
A well-tempered, well-rounded individual, right? Someone that I would want to keep in my circle, right? And I'm going to put this out there, that's perfectly fine, that this is the type of person that I would want to be with or want to be around. But you also have to know that you have to be the type of person they want to be around.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, they might be a little or a lot ahead of you, right? And so to them, they might look at you and be like, well, this person really isn't where I want to be right now, and I don't see them making me a better person. So that's not someone I want to keep around.
Yeah.
And that's good feedback too. That's a good feedback loop. If someone like that's doing a lot better than you is like, hey, I prefer not to work out with you. I prefer to do my own thing rather than spend time with you. That's a reflection.
Yeah.
What do I need to do to get better? What would make this person say yes to me?
Yeah.
Right? Not that you're trying to kiss ass or anything, but like these are the type of people that you want around you, right?
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron. And if you have someone that's super sharp in whatever category they're trying to do, you want to be around them, but they don't want you around because you're not sharp enough.
Yeah.
You got to step it up.
Yeah.
You got to step up your fucking game.
And I noticed that when that happened to you, you didn't get your feelings hurt or anything. It actually raised the respect that you had for that person
100%.
even more.
It raised my respect for them, and it made me work harder.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what's the next level that I can get to where this person is going to be like, you know what? Yeah, I have enough respect to either work out with them or spend some time with them or even dedicate some type of my time to them.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I'll never be upset at someone trying to see me do better.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, you'll never see that coming from below. It's always like people from below are trying to drag you down. But going back to the topic of, I have seen people that are mentally and financially there, but 100% slobs.
Yeah.
Like, bro, no physical shape. They have all the money in the world. They should be in top pinnacle shape because they have all the money and all the time in the world, but they don't, right? And then, you find these people that it's very rare to come across the third category.
Yeah.
It's very, very rare, the people that are mentally and spiritually there. But even then, when you do come across them, they're either not in top physical condition or their financials aren't there, because they're so focused on that third category.
Yeah.
And so that's a good analogy, right? So
True.
Going back to the main question, which is what type of standard do I hold the people around me to? I understand that the people around me are busy.
Yeah.
I would hope that they keep some type of physical condition, as long as they're not absolute slobs, trying to do their best. And then as long as they're doing something else with their life, whether it's like, they're fulfilling a business, making money, trying to work on their mental space. you can see that, you know that from you can see when it comes genuinely from another person.
Yeah.
And the moment that you don't see that, and I'm saying all three categories, that's when you kind of have to draw the line and decide whether you want this person in your life in the long run. But that's how I kind of measure that for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not just about physical condition.
To be honest, bro, as much as I want people around me to be in peak physical condition and have the financials together, I think what I respect the most and is the most difficult to do in today's day and age is 100% the third. Live a spiritually and morally disciplined lifestyle, whatever that may mean to specific people. But I think that's the most difficult just because the world's simply designed for us to ignore our belief system specifically. It's literally designed to draw us away from that. So I respect anyone that at least makes the effort to take their relationship with the Lord seriously. And that's something that I definitely want around me because of the three categories. I think that's where I lack the most personally. As a new Christian, to be straightforward, I've been going to church since November of last year. I was raised around Christianity, but never really took it serious in my adult years until this past year. So I still have a lot of learning to do myself. I think that's the category where I'm lacking the most, although I am growing and learning with time. So it's definitely what I respect the most because now I see how difficult it is to actually live a true, faithful Christian lifestyle in today's day and age. It's very rare, if even impossible, to find someone that's, well, no one's going to be perfect. No one's going to be Christ, but it's very rare to find someone that takes it very serious.
100%.
Yeah.
With the other two categories in mind as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you can find people that are 100% serious in that category, but they're lacking everywhere else. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
100%.
Do you think it's possible to even have the time to do all three at a great level? Or what does that look like? Or do you kind of have to get one together first and then move on to the other two?
Well, I'll give you a perfect example, and you tell me if this is wrong.
Yeah.
I consider not perfect, but a good example, Tristan Tate. You might disagree. You might agree. I don't know. But he's in physical condition. He has the financials to back that up, and he tries his best to live a Christian lifestyle.
Yeah.
Before, maybe in the past, not so much. What I'm saying is that he has kind of steered his life into Christianity and trying to live a real Christian lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so, not looking at his past, but
Yeah,
looking
for
at
sure.
his present,
Yeah.
I think that he would be the closest thing that I would see as a resemblance of being a well-rounded individual. Not perfect, because you said there's no one that's perfect.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider his brother to be perfect. I think he's worse.
Yeah.
This guy's but he does it on purpose because of his branding. But let me know, is that something that would be close to?
Yeah, I mean, going back into it, Bryce Crawford, the guy that interviewed him?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
he'd be a good example of spiritual and financial, but not necessarily physical. And not
right.
that he's out of shape, but you could tell he doesn't lift weights or anything. So
Yeah, no, he doesn't have I wouldn't say a respectable physique.
but as far as the internet goes, when it comes to Christianity, most respectable person you could find.
There you go. Yeah.
It's very rare to find someone that's at least respectable in all three,
Yeah. And that was the first thing that came to mind. I'm sure there's other people out there that we probably haven't come across just yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, super important.
Tying into the next segment, and this is one of the three categories as well, is financials. How do you manage your financials, and to what extent, as we make more money, is it important to manage and save money, or do you believe in saving money at all?
Yeah, so Vinny and I, we have this this idea of saving money, and it's kind of contrary to it a little bit, but the idea is to make more money, not save money, because you don't want to hoard money. I think that mentality is never going to make you more money. Mm-hmm. It's only going to take away from you giving to others and it coming back to you. So I don't necessarily believe in the idea of save. I believe in the idea of making more. The perfect example is if, you're having a hard time paying $20 for a meal, maybe you should buy two. And then you should find a way to make 80 back in the same day, right? Because it's the scarcity mindset is what's going to kill you the most, right? Having that mindset of this is not enough. I'm not going to have enough. What am I going to do? I don't know how to pay for this. You figure it out. You make more money, and you try not to hoard anything. And that's just my mentality. But to answer your question before I let you add on to this, I do think that it's important to not be a jackass and blow all your money.
Yeah.
Vinny, you will never see me gamble my money. You will never see me spend my money on prostitutes or fucking bullshit. I swear to God.
I would hope not, bro.
You will never see me do that,
Yeah.
which I think is a terrible allocation of finances.
Yeah.
What you will see me do is spend money on things that I think are going to make me more money.
Yeah.
And that's just my mentality, right?
Yeah, and that even goes to like ordering DoorDash instead of taking the time to go to a restaurant and pick up your food. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just sitting on the couch watching a movie and you order DoorDash, that's lazy. But if you're ordering DoorDash because you're working and you don't have the time to go, like that hour of your time is worth more than the extra $7 that it costs to get your meal delivered.
100%.
You know?
100%.
So I agree with you to that extent. Yeah.
Yeah. But what about you? Like, do you think you're great at money management right now? Do you have some work to do?
Well, something that you mentioned is the scarcity mindset. And I'd go as far to say that's the poverty mindset. It's what keeps people in poverty for generations. And we're people that grew up around first world poverty, because people here in the U.S. have no idea what real poverty is.
100%.
But, you know, just this idea of, and when we were teenagers, like when we go to get the 2 for $5 at Wendy's, you know, it's because we only have so many dollars in our wallet. But the time and energy that it takes to save a few dollars, you would have much more ROI if you figured out how to make more. Like there's this guy, true story. I don't know who the guy is because I never met him. Someone just told me about this, but someone that worked at a restaurant told me this guy would come in every time he ate at that restaurant with a pack of like the powdered lemonade. It cost like 10 cents to mix his own lemonade there with the water cup, so he didn't have to pay for the restaurant's lemonade, which was like $3 or $4. But it's like, okay, you're doing all this extra stuff, going to the store, buying the powder, when the lemonade's only $3 or $4. I think it's more ROI to go out of your way, pay the gas to get to the store, take a couple hours out of your time than to just buy the restaurant's lemonade.
Yeah.
So I think that mindset of I'm saving a couple dollars here and there is going to cook you in the long term, because one, it's literally a universal law that if you hoard money, it's not going to come back to you.
Equal and opposite
And
forces.
yeah, you have to outsource. As a business owner, if you're a cheap ass, you're not going to get anywhere. Like as a meal prep cook, if I were to buy a $30 grill from Temu versus the $1,000 grill that's NSF certified, my clients are going to know the difference. I'm going to get the job done slower. I'm going to have to buy more grills because it's going to keep breaking.
Next week, you're going to have to buy a new grill.
I have to spend time on maintenance. We could go into delegation of tasks too, like hiring someone to clean my kitchen so I don't have to spend 4 hours doing it. I might be paying that person $200, but I could use those 4 hours to make 800, you know?
Exactly. So it's time allocation, and you need to know the difference with that. I'll give you a different example too. There was a guy that I knew, may he rest in peace, he passed away. He was an older gentleman, and he would walk to work every day, not because he couldn't afford a car, because he didn't want to spend his money on a car. One. Two, he would eat ramen every day. Every day he would eat ramen because he didn't want to spend on food. And every time that he had an opportunity to get a free meal, he would get it. Anytime that he would have an opportunity to save money anywhere, he would. And what ended up happening with this guy was he ended up passing away with over 6 figures in his account that ended up going to the government because he didn't have kids. And to me, that's like, why? Like what? Like that's that's horrible. Like you spend your whole life hoarding all this money for what? To at the end of the day not get to spend it, just have the government take it away. And I think that is a mentality. That is a poverty mentality. The reason that he thought this way was because when he was younger, he grew up in poverty and third world country, not just first world, third world country poverty. So he knew what it was to have nothing. And so that mentality he carried on even when he had over 6 figures. And it's like, that is not going to take you, it's not going to be sustainable in the long run.
I think it's up to us as individuals to grow out of that, because
100%.
You know,
it's hard.
Yeah, we didn't come from the worst of poverty, but like I said, we grew up around it. And what I've noticed is, you know, people here depend on government assistance to, you know, get through their life, and that continues for generations and generations until someone steps up and says, I'm going to break this generational curse. I can take action.
100%.
Going back to us, like I remember we would get excited when one day we got a free meal at Sonic because they messed up our order. I mean, we could barely afford the regular meal at the time. This was like 6 years ago.
Free
so
meal?
Yeah, we were so hyped over a free
hyped.
meal that costed like $10 in the beginning.
We were so excited.
So I'm just saying this to show you that we once had this mindset and grew out of it, and it's up to you as an individual to grow out of this mindset, because if you're born into it, it's not your fault, but it is your fault if you keep that mindset forever, you know?
100%.
Yeah. Another thing I want to add to this is I once knew a guy, not someone that I would want to mentor me personally, but he was a mentor. And something he said that I found funny but also true was he was telling me about a guy that wanted him to mentor him, and he charged $800 for his program. And the guy was like, "Oh, $800? You're out of your mind." And then the mentor told him, he's like, "Oh, you don't have $800? You really need me to mentor you," you know. So that just kind of goes back into, if you're not willing to invest, you're not gonna get the results, you know.
Oh, that's funny, bro. That's
kind of a harsh way to put
bro,
it, but
that's the funniest way you can call someone poor or broke. Oh, you don't have. Oh, you really need my help.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're literally my ideal client, bro. Like you need my damn.
But it's true, because like if you're not willing to put that money into getting what you want, you know, what am I trying to say? You could probably word it better than me, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Like if you're not continuously trying to invest in yourself to the point where you're making more in the long run, there is no point, right? You're hoarding all this money to not make more. It's not gonna be it's not gonna be sustainable in the long run. It's just not gonna work.
Back to money management, though, I think it's important that as your income grows, your expenses don't simultaneously linearly grow with your expenses. You know, I think it's important to keep that in check.
That's a mistake too that people make.
But I don't think it's important to continue to pinch pennies every way you can as your income grows. You know, you should be buying your time back and eventually investing. You know, once I have a lot more cash to spare, you know, opening those investment accounts or even starting other projects. Once you build the tree trunk of where it all starts, then you can start branching off into other things. So
100%.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
like always, we like to wrap our podcasts off on a lighter note. Not that our podcasts are negative, but I feel like they're very serious. So let's kind of show the human side of us a little bit. What's one thing you used to do in high school? It could be productive or unproductive that you miss. Not even high school, just from your younger years in general, a hobby or whatever that you used to enjoy that you miss now. Might even want to go back to at some point. What's that?
Oh man. Well, this is not something that's gonna come back anytime soon, I'm sure. But back when I was in high school, specifically my senior year, it was the idea of doing absolute jack shit, bro. Like I would do nothing for like my whole day, just spend a whole day doing nothing. That's not gonna happen ever again. Like I always have something to do, but that's something that I wouldn't say I ruminate on too much, but I definitely think about often. Where it's like, sure, I could have done so much more with this time. I could have been more productive, but I don't regret it, bro. Like I genuinely enjoyed that time so much. When I look back at my high school year, although we didn't get a graduation, which I will always bring it up.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, bro. I had a really good time of not the idea of me being able to do whatever I wanted with my time. I think that idea right there. And I guess eventually I could be able to do that once I'm where I want to be in life, where I could just kind of, if I want to take a trip to Italy, we can go do whatever we want. So that specifically, being able to do whatever I want with my time was something I miss. What about you, bro?
I mean, yeah, I would go back to that. And then I used to have a lot of hobbies like basketball,
Bro. Yeah.
music. Like I used to be like a full-on music critic. I used to have a whole review channel for music.
Do you miss that?
No, but
Okay.
I miss like, dude, like we could talk about this a little bit. As we've grown as entrepreneurs, how has your music taste changed? Because I listen to.
Yeah.
Have you seen the memes of like how hip hop sounds in your 30s? And it's like scoobity doobity doobity. Yeah, it's like I understand why old people hate like our music now, because I'm starting to get there. Even songs that I once enjoyed, I listen to it now, and I'm like, how the hell did I used to listen to this?
Why though? What do you think's changed?
I think it's just mindset overall. Like even going back to the spirituality thing, like just realizing that it's all about nonsense. And there's some songs I could get past still that might still talk about like lust and drugs and nonsense that I could still just forget about the lyrics and jam out to. But for the most part, bro, there's some things have become unbearable to me.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear Playboy Cardi screaming Rockstar Made in my ear for 3 hours straight at the age of 24. I've just had enough of it. But there are some songs albums and stuff that trigger nostalgia, and I like to go back to them. Like Donda by Kanye West will always remind me of college. So here and there, I like to just ride around and listen to that album just because it takes me back to a simpler time.
I'll answer your question though. I think I'm the least qualified to talk about this, bro, because the type of music I listen to is all over the place.
Rio the Young OG.
Yeah, like I listen to Rio the Young OG. I listen to rave music, jump style music, like rock, rap music. Yeah. But I am a big believer in music and energy. For example, this might seem contradicting to some people, and that's okay. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But why do you listen to Rio the Young OG? Okay, realistically, yes, he talks about violence, guns, this and that, but the majority of his music is about making money.
Yeah.
I just made 100 racks. I checked my bank account, I made 100 racks. Like, he talks about the idea of making money. I only made 7,000. I'm upset. Like, bro, like, he's always talking about the idea of money. And believe it or not, my subconscious is always listening. And if it's always listening to the idea of making more money, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll find out in 10 years if I'm wrong or not.
Yeah.
But I think that listening to music that talks about money eventually makes my brain think more about money.
Yeah,
And that's just how I see it. Yeah.
I think rap could be beneficial because some of it's very motivational.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
sure, a lot of it's boasting, bragging, but it's better than listening to depressing music all the time.
100%. Well, let me talk about that for a second because, Benny, you knew I had a stage where all I listened to was NF. NF music.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Fantastic music. I sometimes go back and re-listen, bro. But I would say, quote unquote, that was my most depressing time. Like, I was most sad. I would wear black all the time. I would talk about how sad I am. And you know.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, the music that I was listening to was changing my mood.
Yeah.
And it does affect you on a regular basis. If you're listening to constant hate or you're listening to constant negativity or constant sad, it is going to affect your life, regardless or not. So it is important what you listen to. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. But going back to like degenerate lyrics, quote unquote, to what extent do you feel like that influences you? Do you think it's poison to your brain, or do you think it's just music at the end of the day? Because going to what you said about sad music, it literally has a tone. But when the music's upbeat, even if they're talking about like nonsense, I feel like if the music's upbeat, it still puts you in a good mood if you could put the lyrics to the side, you know?
Yeah. So that's gonna go back. It's gonna tie in back to values. So if I listen to music that talks about gambling all the time, it's not gonna affect me because I don't gamble.
Yeah.
Regardless, that's a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
If there was a song that says I gambled all my money, 100,000, I just made 200,000,
you're not gonna go gamble.
I'm not gonna go gamble. It's just not. I'm not gonna go gamble. So
that's fair.
Of course, that ties back into personal traits. So yeah, I mean, be careful what you listen to. It's super important.
Yeah.
But you know,
where do you draw the line?
I will not be listening to things that talk about explicit sexuality to the point where it's like every line it's just talking about popping this and popping that, and I hate that shit. That shit pisses me off. You know, if music just talks about straight up violence, like, oh yeah, I just killed 100 people today, like, that's not something I'm not gonna listen to that. I'm just not gonna listen to that. That's just not the type of music I want. Like, even though it is upbeat, that type of energy is not something that I need. You know, Rio the Young OG is an exception. That doesn't disprove the rule, of course. You know, it's not like I go day to day listening to just Rio the Young OG. Like, no, I listen to everything. I listen to a lot of soul music. I listen to R&B. I listen to. I'm a big fan of indie music. I love fucking indie music. The only thing I will not listen to is country music. I just don't see any beneficial factors of country music.
No, it's just all
it's
simping
all
over
simping and sadness
and drinking whiskey.
And it's just not for me. So, and it's just the tone is I hate it, bro. So yeah, that's just me though. That's just I love music. I'm glad you don't miss reviewing music, I guess.
No, I mean, I agree with the tone. Like, I'm Puerto Rican. I listen to a lot of reggaeton, and if you speak Spanish, you know almost every song is like diabolical, bro. But the beats and the rhythms are, I guess, uplifting. So I mean, I still enjoy it, but I feel like there's exceptions. Like, if something's like straight up demonic, okay, I'll draw the line, you know. But I guess it's all demonic to an extent, but you know, like you said, if it's more explicit and like in your face, it's hard to ignore. You know?
Yeah, like for example, I don't know the name of the song, but the song that literally says "I'm on a highway to hell." I would never listen to that song. Why? Like, that's not gonna help me in any way.
We heard that in the gym once.
Oh god, bro, full blast, bro. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on right now? But bro. Just be mindful of what you're listening to. It does affect you in the long run. But
consumption isn't just food; it's everything. What you look at, what you listen to. So
So hell yeah, bro. I think that pretty much wraps it up, guys. Thank you guys for joining once again. I think we're way past an hour already, bro. But
definitely
a lot of value here. I'm glad we were able to kind of touch on the different aspects of the business that we don't really talk about too much. And so we'll see you guys next week.
Next week, if he shows up, we plan on having a guest, so let's hope for the best.
So next week we plan on having a guest. Don't hold us to it just yet. Maybe it would be the 6th episode, but if next week is available, we're going to have a guest, and that'll be awesome.
All right. Thank you guys for watching.